Nobody around you would understand if you tried to explain it, because from the outside, your life looks fine. You have things people would be grateful for, a roof, people who care about you, moments that should feel like enough. And yet, there is a flatness sitting just below the surface of your days. The hardest part isn't the feeling itself, it's the guilt. You look at your life and think you have no right to complain. Other people have real problems, so you tell yourself you just need to be more grateful. You carry it quietly and hope it passes. Most models of human suffering follow a clear logic. You lose someone, you grieve. You face danger, you feel fear. But this emptiness arrives without a trigger. It persists without a cause and refuses to respond to the list of good things in your life. The true psychological weight of this state comes from the inability to justify it. You are experiencing a hollow ache that you cannot name, leading to a question you've likely never said out loud. What is wrong with me? In 2023, the World Health Organization reported that depression and anxiety affect more than 1 billion people globally. But those numbers don't capture the millions living in a joyless middle ground. These are people who function. They show up, they do what needs to be done, and they seem okay. Psychologists have started calling this the epidemic beneath the epidemic. It's a vast population of people living in quiet, unrecorded desperation, functioning perfectly while feeling nothing. This feeling has a name. Understanding it, decoding the specific signal being sent by your body, is the most important thing you can do today. In the 1990s, psychologist Martin Seligman began a research program at the University of Pennsylvania to investigate a fundamental question. What actually makes a human life feel good? He separated the answer into 2 categories. The pleasant life focuses on comfort. The meaningful life centers on purpose. Research showed that pursuing the pleasant life alone fails to produce lasting well-being, leaving people with higher levels of emptiness than those who pursue meaning. Modern life is exceptionally good at delivering pleasure, while systematically dismantling the very conditions that make meaning possible for us today. We have more comfort than any humans in history, yet we are emptier than we have ever been. To find what meaning actually requires, we have to look at the extreme conditions of Nazi concentration camps. Psychologist Viktor Frankl observed that survival in Auschwitz and Dachau often came down to a single psychological factor. Those who did not break had something to live for, a book to finish, a child to see, a reason that pulled them forward. Frankl identified the will to meaning as the primary human drive. When it is absent, something in the individual begins to die. He called this the existential vacuum. It manifests as a sourless sense that something is missing, leading to a life of going through the motions. Frankl was describing a psychological starvation that many people now experience in the middle of a perfectly ordinary, comfortable life. This emptiness is a hardwired physiological response linked to a modern decline in social connection. In 2023, Surgeon General Vivek Murthy declared loneliness a public health epidemic, citing a 70% drop in time spent with friends since the 1980s. Neuroscientist John Cacioppo found that chronic social disconnection activates the same stress response systems as physical danger. Your body treats emotional isolation as a life-threatening condition because for most of human history, a human alone was a human dead. This explains why you can feel empty even when surrounded by family or colleagues in a crowded room. If you are not truly seen, your nervous system triggers a dull, persistent alarm, signaling that something ancient in you is starving. To fill this space, we use an unprecedented arsenal of stimulation. Phones, streaming, work, and endless scrolling to distract ourselves. We make it possible to never sit alone with ourselves for a single moment. Centuries before the smartphone, Blaise Pascal observed that humanity's problems stem from an inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Every time you reach for a screen to escape discomfort, you train your nervous system that internal reflection is intolerable. You deepen the inability to be present with your own interior life. The tragedy of modern life is that we have built an entire civilization dedicated to numbing the signal, which only forces it to scream louder. If we strip away the distractions, what is the emptiness actually trying to communicate? Carl Jung described a process called individuation, the journey of becoming who you actually are rather than who your circumstances shaped you to be. He believed hollow feelings of a life unlived were signs of growth that had been blocked. This restlessness signals a part of you is trying to emerge but has nowhere to go. Feeling this way means a vital part of you is still awake. It proves you are unwilling to be anesthetized by a life that looks fine on the outside but feels hollow on the inside. Gratitude and emptiness are not opposites. You can hold both. You can be thankful for your life and still feel the ache of something unlived. These are the two most honest descriptions of being a conscious human being in a world of comfort. Treat the emptiness as a compass. It is pointing toward a version of your life where your internal reality finally matches your external actions. Now that you recognize this feeling as an invitation toward meaning, the only question is whether you are ready to follow where it leads.